It's funny to see how quickly all of this is turned around. It was, I believe, still less than a month ago on like March 7th or 8th when Bob Chapek came out and made that statement. We care about diversity and representation, but we don't want to be a political football. We don't want to get involved.
Laughable.
This is after all the stuff that they've been doing. And their audience that they've been asking for, the audience that they've actively been pursuing while telling the old audience to get the fuck out, they held their feet to the fire. They said, no, you've said all these things. You better stand up for this. You better talk about this. And now we're in a position where Disney is issuing press releases about bills that become laws in certain states and say, we're going to do everything in our power to repeal this law, either by the legislation or by the courts. Disney, how are you? You're telling me you're going to do everything in your power to have the courts overturn this? How exactly does that work? So now you have this mega corporation literally threatening to interfere with a state doing government shit. It's out in the open now, but that's what happens, Bob Chapek. You get the audience you deserve.
Absolutely. And I do want to play this clip. It deserves to be looked at again. This is clip from DeSantis and him calling Disney out for their bullshit. This is so good.
Also, just want to say one thing in relation to some of the one of the things I saw yesterday. You know, we signed the Parents' Rights in Education bill. It's interesting when like a Disney-owned ABC would put that out on tweet. They'd say, Governor DeSantis signs bill to prohibit instruction in sexual identity and gender identity in some grades. Some grades. Why would they say some grades instead of K through 3? It's just amazing if you're trying to inform the. So you saw a lot of this, but then for Disney to come out and put a statement and say that the bill should have never passed and that they are going to actively work to repeal it, I think one was fundamentally dishonest, but two, I think that crossed the line. This state is governed by the interests of the people of the state of Florida. It is not based on the demands of California corporate executives. They do not run this state. They do not control this state. I also thought it was interesting. I talked to the Speaker of the House yesterday afternoon, and he said Disney never called him while they were putting this through the House. They didn't seem to have a problem with it when it was approved. This was such an affront. Why weren't they speaking up at the outset? And yet they won't. And then for them to say they're going to actively work to repeal substantive protections for parents as a company that is supposedly marketing its services to parents with young children, I think they crossed the line. And, you know, people ask me, you know, kind of about.
I love it, man. They literally responded to a Twitter mob. I feel like so many people feel like Twitter has a lot of power. That's what Disney believes. That's a Disney mindset. Like when they hear people screeching on Twitter, they think that that matters. Like it doesn't matter. I've been going to Disney parks for a long time. I haven't been to Walt Disney World, and God knows, whenever they put the mask rule in, the whole ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, no one has ever been offended by that statement in a Disney park. Not one single fucking human being has ever gone to a park and been offended by the statement, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Nobody. And that's an iconic thing. So for them to change that because of a few blue-haired whales on Twitter is insane.
And I'm a cast member here at for Disneyland, actually. I've been with them for quite a long time, and it's gotten very political, and it's gotten very hard to be who you are. It's gotten very hard to be someone who has conservative values, someone who believes in the right to choose, somebody who believes that it's okay to stand up for righteousness. It is okay to stand up for righteousness. Any Disney cast members that are afraid to be bold, that are afraid to be courageous, stand up. It's okay. You're not alone.
But again, that goes back to what DeSantis was saying. No one had a problem at Disney with this bill until the outrage mob. Then they had to bend the knee to the woke mob. This is insanity.
Boycott Disney! Boycott Disney!